London calling YouTube, London calling everyone, and I'm unsure as to whether we're going to have Koki for this segment, but definitely joining me are Schizophrenic Queen.
Hello.
And Ujames 1978.
Hello there, this is James Escroft, Ujames 1978.
Okay, and tonight's topic is, it sounds a little bit British-centric, but over here we have a couple of, two of the most famous chat show hosts, are Alan Carr and Graham Norton, who are gay men who are very flamboyant, camp, effeminate, and there's been some backlash against this recently, not because there's necessarily anything wrong with a man being feminine, but simply that it's a stereotype, and maybe it's time that we're not represented in that kind of way anymore. I'm going to play my usual card of representation that isn't exactly what you want is still better than no representation at all. But I'm also going to say that maybe it is a bit tired, maybe it's a bit 1970s to have the airwaves filled with the John Inmans, I suppose, if anyone remembers Are You Being Served? That's a reference I think a lot of Americans will get. The end of the I'm free kind of representation of LGBTQ men. Queenie, your thoughts on that?
Hang on just a second.
Okay.
You cut me right as I was taking a bite. Nobody wants to be poorly represented. I mean, when you look at representation, if it doesn't fit you, you really tend to feel it. Because, I mean, part of the reason I self-represent as a schizophrenic is that the image that was out there of people with schizophrenia was very negative, and it was very harmful to me, and so I was like, well, I'll just represent myself, and so I made a YouTube channel, and that was pretty much that. I mean, there's nothing wrong with being camp, but not everybody's camp. So you feel like if camp is the only thing being represented, then in a sense, you, as you are not being represented. So there is sort of, I think there is that approach to it, in which, yes, there's some representation, but there's not really a representation of the type of diversity you find in these groups and subgroups.
You, James, your thoughts?
Well, it's summed up by an image which I saw on Facebook, which was several screenshots from an American TV show, which unfortunately I've never seen or heard of. But again, it was entirely encapsulated within this one scene. A woman talking to a man. The images, the screenshots were subtitled, captioned. So the dialogue was there in the pictures, saying, "You admit it. You're not a gay man. You don't like fashion and other gay stereotypes. You're just a straight man who likes other men." Have you any idea how bigoted, ignorant, and offensive that is? Was the man's reply, and my reply as well. The old philosophical chestnut, would you go back in time and murder Adolf Hitler as a baby? No, I used to think that, yes, I would go back in time and murder Kinsey, the person who developed what is known as the Kinsey scale. The idea that gender, behaviour and sexuality are all directly linked. That the more effeminate you are, the more you are attracted to men, and vice versa.
Yeah.
The idea that a transsexual woman is just an ultra gay man, as depicted in Dallas Buyers Club. But yes, as you say, on top of on top of John Inman and Are You Being Served? I'm Free. There was also a 70s talk show host, TV presenter, whose entire personality, entire stage persona was that he was ultra gay, and his catchphrase was "Shut that door." And then
was that Larry Grayson?
That's it, Larry Grayson. Thank you. And then in the 90s, you've got Graham Norton doing exactly the same shtick.
Mm.
Come on. And now, 2014, 20 years after that, for 40 years, gay men have been represented on mainstream television as effeminate, excuse the derogatory terms, fairies and puffs.
Mm.
I use those terms in inverted commas. I have heard Graham Norton speak normally on television, giving his opinion on some issue or other. This was back in the 1990s. And he sounded perfectly normal, perfectly intelligent, a decent, likeable human being. But put him in front of a camera on his talk show or what have you, and all of a sudden it's limp wrists and knob jokes.
Yeah.
It's one thing that you forgot to mention in your introduction, actually, Alex, is that the backlash against people like Alan Carr and Graham Norton is coming from gay men. And the one journalist has described this as gay homophobia. No, a term that I would use is gay anti-puffdom, or something like that. No, we are not fairies. We are not gay because we like musicals and quote John Inman. We are gay because we are sexually attracted to other men, regardless of personality or characteristics. One of my friends on Facebook, again, I keep referencing her. She is tiny. She is unbelievably feminine. She is obsessed with pink. She is studying fashion. She collects Barbie dolls, even though she recently turned 19. Her entire life is as girly and as cutesy as you could possibly imagine, and she's a lesbian. So she must be in a relationship with a butch dyke then. No, her girlfriend is just as effeminate, just as much of a princess as she is. And again, the ultra butch gay men. I'm not sure if there's any specific term for them. And again, I mentioned during the recording break, I have been out alongside men who are gay, but much more masculine than I am. I spent much of my early life being accused of being gay simply because I wasn't hypermasculine. This is probably one of the reasons why I make so many jokes about my sexuality, desperately struggling to prove that no, I am desperately trying to show people that no, I am straight. But anyway, women were hitting on the masculine men and dismissing me as the fag, the fairy, etc.
Yeah.
Cokie Pirate suggested that MRA should call that gay zoning. But just this whole idea that masculinity and femininity are directly linked to sexuality, that there is only the gender binary. The gender binary has spoken. Although I talked before about going back in time and killing Kinsey, that wouldn't have changed anything, because although he developed the scale, he was simply the mouthpiece for the cultural attitudes, the bigotries, the assumptions, the stereotypes, which still exist across the world to this very day.
Yeah.
So if you're a transsexual woman, then you're just a gay man who is ashamed of being a man because only men, only women should fuck men. No, there are asexual transgendered individuals. There are lesbian trans women. There are straight trans women. Gender has nothing to do with sexual orientation.
And it's still very dangerous and harmful, even in British society now. There was a thing I read, which I'll try and remember to link in the description, about a quote-unquote formerly gay man who had been quote-unquote cured of his homosexuality. And when he describes his treatment, it's almost like a kind of cognitive behavioural therapy to get him to change his behaviour. So, when I learned to stop walking in a mincing way. So yes, if you're a gay man with a mincing walk and you cure the mincing walk, then you're internally less gay as a result. That somebody who'd, led his life as a gay man, had a long-term partner, is actually buying this so-called treatment. So it actually goes beyond the superficial cultural thing. It's a harmful thing.
Yes, it is bullshit which people genuinely believe, at least in part because of the norm, in inverted commas, which is being reinforced by Graham Norton. So I can just imagine a gay man in Britain or in the Bible Belt of America. He's a lumberjack, he's an MMA fighter on the weekends, so on and so forth. He is the least effeminate man on the planet, thinking, so he goes into pray the gay away therapy or whatever to be cured, and so the first thing you have to do is get rid of the mincing walk. And what mincing walk? And get rid of any pink and any dolls, stop. Did you dress up in your mother's clothes as a child?
That reminds me of something I went through when I was a little kid.
Oh yeah.
Having grown up with brothers, and, when I was younger especially, I think I didn't have that much influence from my mom. I walked like a boy, and one of the girls in my kindergarten class noticed this, and she's like, "Why are you walking like a boy? You have to walk like this." And I guess, I put more importance on it than it actually was, and I ended up practicing this walk until I had mastered the girl walk and was no longer performing the boy walk.
Yes, and on that day you became a real girl.
I grew my girly wings and everything.
Just imagine if you had continued walking like a boy, then you would be a lesbian right now.
Well, I kind of am. Of the romantic persuasion towards women. I mean, I pass as straight right now because I'm in a relationship with a dude.
No. I tell you absolutely, the fact that you stopped walking like a boy means that you are not lesbian anymore. The internet has spoken.
Yeah. Can I still comment on how hot chicks are if I'm not a lesbian?
Oh, of course you can, but don't touch.
And it is bizarre to me that these people don't question, because it's so, I don't know if it's cognitive dissonance or whatever, but have you never seen a butch gay guy? Have you never seen a girly lesbian?
As I say, the cognitive dissonance, when the human capacity to lie is exceeded only by our ability to believe a lie in defiance of all evidence to the contrary. Humans believe what they want to believe. As I just demonstrated in my unbelievably sarcastic and mocking remarks to Schizophrenic Queen, in case anyone misunderstood that I was being sarcastic as fuck.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we say, oh look, and again with my friend, I almost said her name there, who is is the world's most effeminate lesbian. Oh no, so she must be in a book again. And when pony fandom, bronies, that's the term, men who are fans of My Little Pony. Oh, it must be because they're gay. It must be because they're paedophiles. It must be because they're autistic or suffer from from some other cognitive or learning disorder. No, it's simply that they're men who like the show. They just refuse. People just refuse to accept anything which does not fit their existing worldview, their existing black and white absolutes. Humanity has this wonderful capacity to twist anything which they can and utterly ignore anything which they cannot. So bisexuality doesn't exist, and if you say that it is, you're wrong. If you say that you're bisexual, then you're just confused. You're just insane. It's
I want to throw in another thing because we've touched upon. Actually, I would say most of the trans women I know or have known have actually been gay. And there was a story recently, which I'll also try and remember to link in the description. A story here in the UK by the Mirror, where basically a 62 or 63-year-old wants to go through the change now. Now, the Mirror, being the Mirror, is making a big deal out of... They do use the right pronouns, but there's still a bit of a man wants to have a sex swap operation. I'm not sure I like that term. But the fact that the counselling, hormone therapy and surgery will amount to about 20,000 on the NHS, shock horror, with a sort of suggestion of, you're already in your 60s, what's the point, why are we paying for this, a kind of angle to it. But the shock revelation that this 63-year-old transgender woman is into women, it's like that's news in itself. Like that's it's the shocking twist. And let's remember that a YouTuber who I won't name, and I don't know if they're around anymore, suffered serious harassment and abuse for being a transgender woman attracted to women. Basically, you're a man who wants to be a lesbian, you're a fake trans woman. And sort of like, seriously, you're getting hate for this. And as if, because I will state as a man right now, if you're going to have surgery on that part of your body, there better be a fucking reason.
Oh, and of course, the reason is to deceive women into having sex with you, because remember, as men, that is our entire raison d'etre. That is our sole purpose for being. From the moment we wake up in the morning to the moment we fall asleep at night, and even while we are dreaming, our entire being, all of our conscious and unconscious thoughts are utterly devoted into getting women to have sex with us by any means necessary. So, yes, you remind me of an utterly disgusting sketch from a so-called comedy program. I can't remember the actual program itself, but the sketch was standalone. This was back in the 1990s or the early 2000s, back when I was still watching television. The joke was the tallest, the biggest, most masculine, most butch, tattooed English skinhead. The kind of person who you look at and think shaven gorilla or EDL thug, wearing a dress and talking about how he was now a tranny. Yeah, and I have to admit, I'm a leser, because I still fancy birds, somewhat rotten. The joke being that, of course, if you're attracted to women, then you're obviously not a trans. You're not trans. You are just a man who wants. You are just a man who wants to trick women or something like that. Again, the Kinsey fucking scale. And can we burn it along with every copy of Just Another Jew and Dallas Buyers Club? Again, the damage that shit does. This belief. You're already in, and of course, again going back to the article you mentioned, you're already in your 60s. What's the point of being a woman? Even if you were a woman, you'd be an old woman, and nobody wants to fuck an old woman. Because again, a woman's only value is her youth and her physical attractiveness. There is just so much bigotry and stereotyping. There is just so much. There are so many gender normative assumptions in this entire storyline that it could take months to mention, let alone discuss them all. But in short, we need to start seeing people as individuals. That is the only way forward. Yes, you are X, Y, and Z, but that doesn't prevent you from also being A, B, and C. Or you are all of these things, or you are none of them. You are who you are. Instead of it's one of my favorite memes of all time. You're obviously identifying yourself incorrectly. Here, let me do it for you. When a person says that they are a transsexual trapped in the body of a squirrel and are sexually attracted to radiators, believe them, unless there is damn good evidence to the contrary.
Queenie, do you have any closing thoughts on the topic?
Everybody wants to be represented. I mean, not just the campy people. And I don't know. That was my whole spiel for the whole thing. Like James was all on. James jumped on his righteous horse and left me behind while I was at the market. Damn it!
I am sorry.
Curse you and your white stallion!
I just want to say though, Queenie, you are not your schizophrenia. Of course, given that, but
I know that.
But what I want to say is what you were saying before is you wanted to represent yourself in the face of the unbelievably bigoted and ignorant negative stereotypes of schizophrenic people.
Well, but, I still on occasion will get the treatment where it's like, oh, you're schizophrenic. That doesn't mean, that means you don't know anything. And I've had that from all kinds of people. One of the reasons why I really don't get along with Bionic Dance is that she said, oh, you must be off your meds again, when I was having an argument with her. Any
time you disagree with her and you're winning, oh, you're off your meds, you're insane. So
I've had that with a bunch of other people too, mostly internet trolls. They'll be like, oh, you're schizophrenic, and that's one of the hardships I've taken on with having the name that I do in the public eye. But one of the things that I find rewarding about having taken on this sort of load onto myself is that I've had people come up to me and say that I really helped change their mind on how they perceived people with schizophrenia. So, I mean, you have to take a few blows to get the rewards, but I'd say the rewards are worth it.
Absolutely, and I just wanted my point saying that you are not your schizophrenia is that yes, your schizophrenia is a part of who you are, but you are an individual, and that goes back to the point I was making, seeing everyone as an individual, not just accepting or dismissing people because of a particular label. Oh, you are X, therefore your opinion is irrelevant. Fuck you.
Yeah. Sometimes that line gets blurred in my mind with the whole schizophrenia thing, but I think that has to do with the public perception and my perception of the public.
Yes. The great intractable mystery of life. You know, our perceptions of each other, everyone else's perceptions of us. It's a vast mess.
This has made me think of a film that I haven't seen or thought about in about 10. I think it's called I Am Sam. Might have got the name wrong, but it's a real life story about an autistic man, and that was kind of the point. Hence the name I Am Sam. I'm going to have to look that film up, actually.
We need to have a film about schizophrenia and have me in it, because I'm awesome.
Aha.
Actually, I would love to be part of something like that if they wanted to do, like, a documentary or something.
That's a possibility.
We need to get somebody out there
yeah.
to do a documentary and have me be in it, because I'm awesome.
Yes,
We
I
need
would seriously consider making a film of schizophrenic individuals, because from all of my experience, there is no such thing as the schizophrenic norm. You know, that's almost a contradiction in terms.
Well, that's something I figured out when, because I study psychology. I've been on the side just so that I can be up to date as possible on my own condition. And the thing that I figured out is that my experiences as a schizophrenic probably don't match up to anybody else's.
Yeah, every schizophrenic individual in the world is completely and totally unique. We're
should
all
do a film where they like. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking when I was
Schizophrenic Snowflakes, the documentary.
Yes. I would so be in that documentary.
Uh-huh.
I do it for free. Chicken is the least I could do.
I'll call you for free. I'll call you in 10 years when I've scraped the money together.
Shoot, if I get the money together first, I'll just do it myself.
Go for it. Absolutely.
Well, I'll have to hire somebody else. I'll have to hire somebody else to film it and everything, but
I could be your cameraman if I could get there.
Yeah.
But the only trouble is, I think in 10 years' time, people will be confused and traumatized by a documentary that isn't about aliens.
Well, that's all the more reason to make it.
Yeah.
And of course it'll be on the History Channel.
Yeah.
So then, I think a lot has happened tonight. And I don't know what I mean by that, but I've said it. So, this is where the night bus ends. And getting off tonight, we have, you have been hearing Schizophrenic Queen.
Hello. I mean, goodbye.
And also, Ujames.
It's past midnight. Do you know where your Tinky is?
He's right over there.
Good. I just wanted to make sure.
And on that bombshell, good night, Internet. Good night, everyone.